Our next speaker is Reverend Martin Garcia from Amistad Presbyterian Church.
Good afternoon, Fort Wayne. I can hear you. Brothers and sisters, friends, neighbors, I greet you in the name of a God who hears the cry of every family being torn apart in this state and in this country. I am Pastor Reverend Martin Garcia of Amistad Church here in Southeast Fort Wayne. And today, I stand with you on these courthouse steps because faith that doesn't stand with the suffering is not faith. Amen. It's decoration. Yeah. Amen. The prophet Isaiah said with moral clarity, God grieves and judges when leaders create laws that crush the vulnerable, deny the poor their rights, and steal justice from the people who need it most. That is a sacred call to accountability. And today, Indiana must listen. Woo. 65 miles north of here, at the Miami Correctional Facility, our state has built what the government calls, and I'm not making this up, the Speedway Slammer. A maximum security prison that now holds around 600 immigrants, with plans to expand to 1,000 beds. 3 people, not 2, have already died there since February. 3 human beings made in the image of God. Now, my friends, I want to talk to you today as a pastor, but I also want to talk to you as a taxpayer. Because what is happening at Miami is not only a moral disaster, it is a financial disaster. Listen to these numbers carefully. The state of Indiana charges ICE $291 per detainee per day to hold a person in that prison. That is almost 4 times what it costs to house a regular Indiana inmate. And who is paying that bill? You are, we are. Every working family in this state, because we pay federal taxes, state taxes, and local taxes. Now, compare that with a more humane alternative. According to ICE's own data, an ankle monitor or a check app costs about $4.20 per day. $4. That means we are spending 70 times more to lock up a father, a mother, a worker, instead of let them stay home with their family while their case moves through the courts. And just remember, that means every day we keep a person locked up, we are burning taxpayer dollars that could support schools, roads, healthcare, and real public safety. And here is the part that should make every fiscal conservative in Indiana stand up. The American Immigration Council reports that 70% of the people in ICE detention today have no criminal conviction, as already Sarah mentioned. No conviction, not even a charge. They are in detention while their legal cases are pending. Many of them came to this country like our great-grandparents came through Ellis Island, looking for safety and a better life. They are following the legal process, and we are jailing them for it. Now, let me tell you what else we are losing. When you lock up a worker, you lose his paycheck, you lose his sales tax, you lose his property taxes. The Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy found that immigrants in America paid, as Sarah already mentioned, $97 billion in federal, state, and local taxes in 2022. About $8,900 per person every single year. They paid into Social Security and Medicare programs that perhaps they will never collect them.
True.
Every immigrant we put in that prison is a taxpayer. We take off the rolls. That is not fiscal responsibility. That is fiscal foolishness.
Woo!
And to the people who say, but they are dangerous, the data says the opposite. Stanford University looked at 150 years of records and found that immigrants are 60% less likely to be incarcerated than people born in the United States. The Cato Institute, a conservative think tank, confirmed it. From 2017 to 2023, immigrants were 44% less likely to commit a violent crime, and immigrant victims were 29% more likely to cooperate with the police. Our neighbors are not a threat.
Amen.
They are part of the solution.
Amen.
So when we lock up a father or when we detain a mother, we are tearing apart a family, but we are also hurting our own cities. When our immigrant neighbors stay in our communities while they wait for their legal process, they work, they rent apartments, they buy groceries at our stores, and yes, they pay taxes. Yes, they pay sales taxes, property taxes, and income tax that funds our schools, our parks, and our roads right here in Allen County.
That's true.
So friends, what does the gospel says? What does the gospel say to all this? Jesus said in Matthew 25, I was a stranger and you welcomed me. I was in prison and you visited me. He didn't say, I was a stranger and you put me in a maximum security prison and charged the taxpayers $291 a day to do it. Jesus stood with the detained, and so must we.
Amen.
So today, we say to Governor Braun, we say to our senators, we say to every elected official in this state, end this contract, end this contract, end this contract. Close the Speedway slammer. Use ankle monitors if needed. Let families stay together while their legal cases move forward. Stop the dehumanization. Stop the demonization and be honest stewards of the taxpayer dollars. This is not a left issue or a right issue.
Amen.
This is a right and wrong issue.
Woo!
My friends, the moral arc doesn't bend by itself. It bends when people like you and me put our hands on it. It bends when we refuse to let fear win. It bends when we declare that every person is made in the image of God. Let us demand justice with the fire of the prophets and the voice of good news of Jesus. As Reverend Dr. William Barber says, we have to stop the malicious policies that hurt the poor. It is time to be fiscally responsible with our faith. Stop the expansion. Stop the dehumanization. Let us make accountable our elected officials to do the smart thing and the right thing. Release the people. Use ankle monitors if needed. Let them work. Let them pay taxes. Let them see their lawyers. Because you cannot build a wall high enough to hide from the mud. And you cannot put Jesus in a cage without breaking the heart of God. Amen, amen, and amen.